Welcome to Maple Ridge Studios WordPress tutorial, part 3. Creating our first post. I'm Anjali, Virtual Technical Education Communications Specialist for Maple Ridge Studio, India Division. I will be your guide for this part of the tutorial. At the end of part 2 we had logged out of the WordPress website sbmsi.ca. After having completed a quick overview of the back end of the WordPress administration area, we will now log in again to the website and proceed with producing a first post. We begin by typing our username in the username box on the login screen. We then type our password in the password box. Make certain that the Remember Me checkbox is not checked, unless you're absolutely certain that no one but you will be using this computer. Checking the Remember Me box makes it possible for you to return to the website without logging in. If you do not log out, but simply close your browser or the tabs that you are working with. After we have typed our password, we click the Login button. That takes us to the dashboard of the administration section of the website. You will recall that the navigation bar on this website is on the left-hand side of the window. The very top item on the navigation bar is the word posts. Hovering the mouse over the word posts displays the options in the drop-down menu to the right. Move your mouse over that menu and down to the item Add New. Click on Add New. This brings up the Add New Post screen. On this screen you will find a box for the title. The editing box just below it is currently empty. Here you will create your post. Above the jolly box is a toolbar. On this toolbar you will see a number of symbols. Each symbol identifies an action that you can use in your post. We will review them when we begin to write our first post. On the right, there are a number of boxes. For this tutorial we will concern ourselves only with the one labeled Publish and the one labeled Categories that is just below it. The Publish box contains the option to save a draft copy of your post. To the right of that is another button that allows you to preview your post. And just below Save Draft, there are 3 items of information. The first is the status of your post. Note that it is currently a draft. The second is visibility, which is currently public. The third item is published immediately. Notice that each item has the word Edit behind it. Clicking on Edit would allow you to change each of those items. For the purposes of this post, we will leave them as they are. The button below this box labeled Publish is where you will click when your post is complete and ready to be placed on the website. The box below, labeled Categories, is one that you will be using. Each post is placed into a category. You may select any of the categories that have been established, including uncategorized. If you do not select a category, the post will automatically be labeled uncategorized. You may select more than one category. Let us begin. We will first select a category. Click on the checkbox beside the category selected, in this case Community. We might also have to unclick any checked category boxes, so that our post does not appear in more than one category, or check more than one box, if we want the post to be listed in several categories. Now we go to the title box just below the words Add New Post, where it says Enter Title here. There we type in the title of our post. I'm calling this post Scarlet League. Once you have typed in the title of your post, you can move your cursor down to the window below the toolbar, where you will write the text of your post. Now we'll move up to the toolbar that I mentioned earlier. All of the symbols on the toolbar identify things you can do with your text, such as make it bold, italic centered, to name a few. Or things you can insert into your post, such as images or videos. Let's look at some of the items on this toolbar. First of all, at the far right of the toolbar, and just above the toolbar itself, are 2 boxes labeled Visual and Text. They indicate what mode you are using to create your post. Clicking on the text button will switch you to a view of your post which is not just text, but HTML code. You should not use the text mode for creating a post unless you understand HTML. We will stay in the visual mode for the creation of this post. After the post has been created, I will switch to the text mode. so that you can see what it looks like. The toolbar actually has a second row of symbols that can be accessed by clicking on the third symbol from the right, which is labeled Show/Hide Kitchen Sink. Let's click on it now to see what we get. We will not use all of these options in creating our first post, and I will leave it to you to explore many of them. To save time, instead of typing in the text, I'm going to paste it into the text box using one of the handy options in the lower toolbar. You'll notice that near the center of the bottom toolbar there are two symbols labeled T and W. Clicking on either of those will bring up a box that allows you to paste content from another document into your post. The T is for a plain text document, and the one labeled W is for a Microsoft Word document. To use them, you first copy the text that you want to paste into your post from the source document. You then click on either the T symbol or the W symbol. I will be using the T symbol, as I will be pasting from a plain text document, such as the text of an email. When you click on the T, a small box pops up that directs you to use Ctrl+V your keyboard to paste the text into the window. That means you press the V key on your keyboard while holding down the Ctrl key. After you've done this, the text you copied will appear in the window. You then click the blue Insert button to the bottom right of the window. Your text then appears in the editing window of the post beginning at the point where the cursor was. You can edit or add to this text, which we will do in the next part of this tutorial. Now that we have some content in our post, we can save it as a draft, which will allow us to return to edit or add to it before we publish it. Let's do that now. We can preview our post by clicking on Preview. We see how the post will look when published. Pretty basic at the moment, but we will return in part 4 of this tutorial to explore ways to make it more appealing through editing the text and adding images before we publish it. Thank you for viewing part 3 of our WordPress tutorials. Please join us for part 4, editing a post. Goodbye for now.